Okay, take two. So now we have established that we want to make a physical weight loss change in our body. Example being a 185-pound woman, under 5 feet tall, had been using Atkins successfully, and about 9 months in, found out she was pregnant, wanted to come up with a plan to not gain weight, but to safely nutritionally supply food for herself and growing baby. Um, Not to say that Atkins or keto isn't healthy for pregnancy, but in my head and in my heart, what I was doing specifically was not going to be healthy. I also was a heavy drinker. Not necessarily the point, but just to throw it in there, just to give you all the loops. Like, this situation is going to be different for every person. The thing about manifesting and conjuring, creating natural weight loss is it's so personal. While there are things that I can tell you how to get there, the words, the actions, and the feelings are personal. It doesn't matter if you starve the fuck out of yourself. If your head ain't there, you're not gonna get your results. And the thing is, this work, to do it effectively, you literally have to start being more kind to yourself. That's actually the hardest part. This is your exercise. This is the diet. This is the pill. You have to learn to love yourself now. Right here, as fat as fuck as you feel, as lumpy and as bumpy as you are. My words to myself. I was tired of looking in the mirror and being mad. I was, like 40 years old, or 39 and change, newly pregnant, unhappy about all of that. And I needed a break. I needed a break. And I literally was seeing, this is actually, I'm remembering how it started. So I did start going to prenatal yoga to help with the drinking. And in that space, I realized that I was being really cruel to my body with the way that I was eating and drinking. But I was stopping the drinking, which was giving the space to allow a little bit of love and softness for the body and for the baby that was inviting himself into my life. I was still coming to terms with all that. Another whole story, though. So, I had decided that I didn't want to continue the keto Atkins while being pregnant, but I didn't want to gain the weight. So I had been seeing all this talk about self-love, radical self-acceptance, and I heard that the one time, the radical self-acceptance, and I took it and ran. And I was like, if there isn't a more time for me to radically accept myself, it's now. 40, fat, and fucking pregnant on accident. It was my nightmare come true. Literally, my nightmare come true. My home life was in a complete disarray. I could go on and on and on. Like, right before this, I had my last actual suicide contemplation planning. I'm not sure how people say that when they don't do it and they come back to talk normally. Still working on all that. So I needed radical, and I needed it quickly. Are you getting everybody's stuff?
Yeah.
Cool. And I was seeing these women with bodies much bigger than mine, with stories much sadder than mine, supposedly loving themselves. I had also just barely begun doing this intuitive learning teaching, which does tie in, but that's why when I first was learning this, it was by accident. But I want to tell the story from the accidents so that you can see the pieces. The love for the self came first. Okay, let's stop that. That's not even true. I just wanted to stop being mean to myself. I wanted to accept myself. It was not love. Radical self-love is not the same as radical self-acceptance. That's a big thing that I just said and I'm realizing out loud. So I was just wanting to accept myself. Just be good enough. I wanted to stop looking in the mirror and being like, this bitch. Still. Cut, paste, squeeze, tuck, hide, all that. I was fucking over it. I'm like, am I ever going to be at peace with this body? And because I was new into yoga, and that the yoga experience where I was helped me really quickly tap into my intuitive remembering. And it was there that I found these ideas. Okay, Nancy, you're just going to have to love yourself just the way you are. And if that means this is what you look like, this is what you got to do. So I started looking up ways to start to love yourself. That's where I was getting back to the mantras affirmation. Fake it till you make it, not my favorite. So, what are some of the words that they say? I am worthy of love. Okay, yeah, you are fucking worthy of love. But if you're not practiced feeling that, saying I'm worthy of love can feel hurtful. Like, this is why the work is so much more personal than what you do, don't eat, calorie count, or exercise about. This is what has been going on in between your mind and yourself and your body for your whole life in this body. And you can also tap into other things, but I'm trying to keep it like as less woo-woo-y as possible for this certain container. Please, if you have any woo-woo questions, ask a fuck away. I have all the woo-woo answers. And if I don't, I got so many cool woo-woo teachers that I will go find them and come back and give it to you. Whatever that looks like. Okay. So let's get down to business. How do we start the work? First, we stop and turn and say, you know what? I'm done. I'm done being mean to my body. I'm done picking myself apart. I'm done trying to change myself to love myself. Today, as uncomfortable as it is, I am telling myself today, we're going to start loving ourselves. Pick something that you love on yourself, whether it's your hands, your nose. Pick something. If you got a good booty, it doesn't matter. This is all private. Like, if you want to share it and it feels empowering, do that. If you share any of it and you feel like, oh God, I just said too much, don't do it again. You're not ready. This work is so much more mind than anything else. This is so much more magic than anything else. This is so much more quantum shit, which we call magic because we don't understand that quantum shit, including myself, because I'm learning some of it, but doesn't magic sound so much more cool? Anyway, whether you would like to call this manifesting, quantum or magic, or human ability, because I should say that or no? Because we have power of intention. That's not what I was going to say. We have free will. Let's talk about free will and consciousness just one moment. That means, okay, humans are that I know of on this planet, the only creature that I know of on this planet that can decide, okay? Birds fly, okay? Like they don't decide, I'm just going to be a swimmer. We can decide if we would like to swim, if we would like to walk, if we would like to crawl. We can decide to think kindly of ourselves, which would be empowering and allowing, or we can think and feel and remember pain and negative emotion in ourselves, which is plateauing, negative attracting. It's opposite of what you're wanting, but because the law of attraction is part of our reality, no matter what. So this work is a little bit of law of attraction, and it's a little bit of manifesting, and it's a lot of, it's just so much allowing. And that's the really hard part. That is the hardest part of this work, is understanding that it's not as much work as you've been doing. And as women, as people that have been conditioned to do all kinds of insane things to our bodies to make them look more appealing to the others, it is a wonder that any of us have ever made it to a place where we can look in the mirror and be like, hey, this is all right. I'm just not going to fuck with her today. And that's my thing. Wherever you are is exactly where you are. Not one person is in a better space than you are. Your power is right now in your body. You can never be another person. You can never look like another person. And if anything that ever comes from my words, I pray that you find a space one day that you don't even want to be another person. You don't want to be another person. You don't want to change your body. You don't want to take anything away. You don't need to add anything to be more than you are. You just kind of fucking love yourself. You know? That's my preachy dose. Let's get back to business. I keep getting distracted because it's so much more than like, eat 1,200 calories, run around the block 3 times, see you in a week. But it could be. So here's my first example. When I was wanting to change a specific body part, so after my second baby, my waist and belly went like potato. And it wasn't normal for my body. Even as a really big person, I always had a smaller waist. And I kind of loved that. It was like one of my things. I was like, big as fuck, but in the middle. Doesn't mean anything. It really didn't mean, to me, that was something that was acceptable. If you have a smaller waist, you're doing something right, you know? That's fucked. That's fucked, first of all. That's fucked, and I don't even like that was true, but that was what I believed at the time. I knew that for some reason it didn't feel fair that my waist went away, and I believed that it could come back. A friend of mine had given me a waist trainer. That shit hurts. I put it on, and I was like, why? Why do people do this? Ow, you know? So the waist trainer, I tried to put on. I don't even think I got all those things. It's like bra straps from here to here. Also, I have no torso. My legs are only 3 feet long. My torso is here. And I have a great big booty and hips. So technically, I feel like my torso is literally this big. I tried to put on that waist trainer. That thing was down to my cooter and up to my fucking neck. I got up and I was like, this is horrible. But visually also kind of works for me. So now, okay, so hold on, let's get back. I remembered the happy waist. It's a remembering of my body that I enjoy. If there's a time and a space that you enjoy in your body, that's something to use. That's a helpful tool. If there was a time when you played sports and you can remember running and feeling like you could almost get off the ground and fly, that's what you want to remember. If you remember feeling freed enough to play on the monkey bars with your kids, or swing, or run, or put on your bathing suit and run on the beach, like blubber, jubber, jiggle and all, those are the moments to remember. If you can remember feeling empowered in your nutrition, like where you were, for your own remembering, for your own experience, healthy to you, that's what you want to remember now. The things that you want to soften, the things that you do not want to spend any time on or think or say or feel, all these words are interchangeable. If they don't work for you, they don't work for you. You don't want to say, I just wish I could be that again. That's a longing. That is focusing on what is not. That is bringing more of what is not. That will keep you not that. When I first started this, I was 185-ish pounds, and I just was like, you know, I really was hoping to get closer to 150, but I'm fucking done. Then the pregnancy came, all of this was like all snowballed. I was really tired of beating myself up on the mirror and in my mind. I'm wondering why other women can be so much bigger and why they can find peace. Maybe I can have some. And maybe I just am a fat girl forever. That's okay too. That's where I kind of was, you know? And even though none of that really felt good, it felt better than just looking at all the things I needed to change and just needed to be worthy. It felt better to say, maybe this is what I am. That was my bridging into the radical self-acceptance. Maybe this is what I am. Maybe I am 40 and having a baby. In the middle of the worst time. But that's where I was. I'm going to push record again.